Is this credit union card the replacement for the Chase Sapphire Reserve? What's up guys, Luke here from Luke's Points and Miles. Today's video is about a credit union card I just acquired called the Fairwinds Credit Union Visa Signature. I'm going to give you the generic review, which is just enough to pique your interest. Then I'm going to actually dig into what this card can and what it can't do. Real quick, shout out to Matt Clausen and his channel for bringing this card up a couple weeks ago. Matt does some really good stuff, so check him out when you get a chance on YouTube. Afterwards, I want you to tell me, what do you think? Is this a CSR killer or is it the Temu CSR? Maybe it's just a decent card for your setup if you're into credit unions, or maybe it's just awful. Stick around and I'll give you as much information as I can for you to make an educated decision. Personally, I like what I've seen and I'm going to tell you exactly how I see this card being used for me. Now, if you are new here, I talk about credit cards, points, miles, cash back, and travel. If that's something that's interesting to you, consider becoming a subscriber. And if you get any value at all out of this particular video, slap that like button and share it with someone who might need this information. With all that out of the way, let's jump into this one. Okay guys, so Fairwinds Credit Union is headquartered in Orlando, Florida, and I know some of my audience just aren't into credit unions and they prefer mostly big banks, but stick around for a minute. This might change your mind. Well, how do you become a member of Fairwinds? Guys, it's really easy. You basically open up a membership share account with $5 and apply. No real crazy requirements. It's not currently geo-fenced on the personal side. You can do it online and it takes just a couple minutes. I'm not going to be doing a complete review on Fairwinds as a credit union, but I wanted to mention that anyone is eligible to apply. No real special requirements. So once you're a member, you can apply for the Visa Signature card. Let's take a look at this card. And first off, let's get this out of the way. The card has a $95 annual fee. It used to be like 250 bucks. So if you are annual fee adverse, this might not be your best option. The card, for whatever reason, also has a $75 authorized user fee, which I'll go ahead and say, hey, it's not worth it. That authorized user fee is silly and I wouldn't recommend it. Does the card have a bonus? You betcha. And this is one of the strengths of the card. Credit unions don't normally have the greatest bonuses, especially compared to the big banks. And this card earns points. We'll talk about what we can use these points for later, but the card earns a sign-up bonus of 60,000 points after you spend $5,000 in the first 3 months of opening the card. Let's talk about earning points, and later we'll get into the card's so-called superpower when redeeming these points. The card earns 5x on travel, and from what I have read, this is a fairly broad travel category, and it's not limited to any type of portal. The travel category also includes theme park tickets. So I think that is interesting if you have one of those trips coming up. The card earns 3x on dining, and here's the kicker. 2 times on everything else. That makes this a strong catch-all card for some of you guys. Visa acceptance and double points sounds pretty good to me. So far, so good. Now let's get more into these points, because before I actually got the card, it was a bit of a mystery what these points could do or what they were actually worth. You can earn unlimited points that never expire as long as your account is in good standing. And you can redeem the points for travel, dining, entertainment, gift cards, and more. And they advertise that these points are worth 50% more when redeemed for travel. That's what we're going to be mostly focusing on here. The only other cards that offer something similar to that are 2 cards that YouTube just drools over. The Chase Sapphire Reserve and the no longer available, way overrated US Bar. So let's see how this card might stack up. Once I got my hands on it and activated the card, I was able to get into the redemption portals and check these things out. And this is the information that we were all curious to learn, but couldn't really find online. Were the points worth a penny each? And that could mean that travel would be 1.5 cents per point. That might be a big league, just give me the points type card, right? As you probably could have guessed, it's not exactly as simple as all that. So I priced out a few different redemptions. I spent a lot of time on their portal, and I wasn't in a situation where I could grab a ton of screenshots. So if you're one of those folks that thinks I'm just making all this up, then you need to join Fairwinds and apply for the card yourself. Let me list some different examples. The first thing I want to mention is that these travel redemptions, they just are not consistent. It's not a 1.5 cents per point overall. I looked at hotels in Amsterdam, Madrid, Italy, and the Conrad Fort Lauderdale. For the Conrad Fort Lauderdale, I booked a room that came out to $684 for one night. Now, remember, if you're going to compare prices, you need to click all the way through to the payment to make sure that all the taxes and fees are added on to get a more accurate price. The Fairwind portal wanted 51,000 points and $45 for this night, giving this one a value of 1.24 cents per point. Not bad. And guys, I don't want to beat you up with a bunch of numbers, so I'm going to quickly go through some flight numbers. Columbus to New Orleans on Delta in May shows me 1.17 cents per point. Columbus to Miami on American Airlines gives me 1.23 cents per point. Hotels in Amsterdam, Italy, and Madrid, they all range from 1.11 cents per point to 1.47 cents per point. So there's a lot of variance here. But now I want to show you what I thought was the most interesting redemption. This is something we really don't talk about because it's normally not been a great value. But I found that certain travel gift cards did yield some pretty good value. You can redeem points for gift cards from several different travel companies. Not all merchants had this great value though. But Delta, Southwest, and Airbnb, those cards all came out to 1.45 cents per point, while Hotels.com was 1.29 cents per point, and American Airlines was less than that. So what this shows me is I can get a consistent 1.45 cents per point on all Southwest and Delta flights. I don't have to go through a portal. I don't have to search for award availability. The flights are paid flights, so they earn miles and they earn towards status and all the other benefits. I've never stayed at an Airbnb, but they have so many unique properties like castles and cabins, and 1.45 cents per point doesn't seem too bad for any of those. I really like flying Delta, so this could really make me consider trying to make Delta my main airline. And honestly, Southwest for me has great routes, so that's also an option. So let me include these numbers here, and I hope this isn't too nerdy or in the weeds. If I wanted to focus on Delta, Southwest, or Airbnb, then the Fairwinds Visa Signature actually earns 7.25 on all travel and theme parks, 4.35 on dining, and here's the kicker, 2.9 on that everything else category. But remember, we're also paying $95 a year. Another redemption through this travel portion is with activities. This whole thing looks like it could be powered by TripAdvisor, and some of the excursions I looked at had a 1.6 plus cent per point redemption. So what I'm trying to say here is there are options if you aren't a big bank person. Here are some other things about this card. It really is its own ecosystem, all in one card. I know it sounds like I'm selling this one pretty hard, but I don't have any kind of referral links, so this is my genuine opinion. The card also includes a dining program. You just have to opt in, and certain restaurants will earn 5x points in addition to that 3 times the card already earns on dining. Now let me just repeat an easy way to redeem, which is that 1.45 cents per point. That means a total of 8 times points can be worth 11.6% towards those easy redemptions. That's just for dining. Guys, this might be just a little exciting. Need a shopping portal? Fairwinds has one. You can earn additional points on everyday retail shopping just like you do with the other portals. Some other notes. The card has no foreign transaction fees and a fixed 18% interest rate. I don't care about the interest rate because I never carry a balance on any of these cards, but I understand life happens. It also has cell phone protection. Lots of purchase protections and certain travel insurances. Add in roadside dispatch and a concierge service. You have a pretty good, in my opinion, travel card. Guys, what do we have here? A CSR killer? Maybe not exactly. Is it great value or store brand CSR? It might be a little better than that. I think this is definitely an interesting card that stands on its own, and I just might be taking advantage of 1.45 cents per point at Airbnbs and Delta flights. Question, How many of you guys right now are using credit union cards? And how many of you are aware that there are some serious gems out there? As always, if you've stayed all the way to the end, I appreciate you, and I want to thank every single one of you.